Greetings, people of Earth. I'm Jonathan L. Segal, the creator of Space Vacation, the musical, the sci-fi musical comedy for the whole family, and you're listening to the instrumental track for The Universe is Like a Song, one of my favorite songs from the show. Space Vacation comes in many forms. I wrote it envisioning it as a Broadway show. Later on, it became apparent that it would also make a great movie or a series, whether live action or animation. I've recently produced an entire cast album of the 22 songs, and you're welcome to hear them anytime at spacevacationthemusical.com, where you can also find out more about the show and the album. Somewhere along the way, I also wrote a middle grade novel version. Don't worry, it's family friendly and you can read it at any grade if you know how to read. Listen, I'm all grown up and I'm going to read it to you right here. I'm also going to play recordings of songs from the show. But enough talk. Instead, let's talk about Space Vacation. This show is about a charming family of blue people who live on the bright yellow planet. They take a fantabulous summer vacation trip all over the universe. Well, except Earth. They do not visit Earth. Earth is not in my show at all. This show is strictly out of this world, but they do visit some charming planets. The parents expect a relaxed vacation, but the kids can feel that there's going to be adventure, and they are correct. After the band plays the overture, the curtain rises and we hear the opening song, Bright Yellow Planet.
Way out in space, way out in space.
There was a bright yellow planet with 7 moons around it. And every moon had been given a name for the day of the week. There was Monday moon, which only appeared on Monday.
Tuesday moon, which only appeared on Tuesday.
And I suppose you can guess the rest, so I won't take time to list them all.
But needless to say, this made evenings on this planet after every day varied in the design of the night sky. And there were people living upon this planet. And every person who lived there was colored a rich navy blue.
When they walked down the street, their blue color mixed with the bright yellow of their planet, giving them a deep, rich green shading. Because as you probably know, when blue is mixed with yellow, it produces green. So though they were blue, they looked green. At least they did when they were home on their yellow planet. Here on Earth, they would have looked blue, I guess.
There was a lovely family living on this planet. There was a father and mother, a son and a daughter as well. And the father's name was Enoch.
And the mother's name was Laura.
And the little girl was Elo.
And the little boy was Haon.
Haon, won't you come for dinner?
Leave me alone, Elo. I'm busy.
As usual, Haon had other things on his mind.
Things like the moons, the planets, the stars, and the rest of the universe.
Chapter 1. Haon Illimath was feeling blue. In point of fact, Haon Illimath was blue, but that's not why he felt blue. After all, his whole family was blue. His dad, Enoj, his mom, Lorak, and his little sister, Elo. Everybody who lived on the bright yellow planet was blue. If you saw them, you might have disagreed with my description. You might think that they looked rather greenish. That's because when they walked down the street, their blue color mixed with the bright yellow of their planet, giving them a deep, rich green shading. As you probably know, when blue is mixed with yellow, it produces green. So though they were blue, they looked green. At least they did when they were home on the bright yellow planet. On Earth, they would have looked blue, I guess. Haon's dad, Enoj, was not quite as blue as the rest of the family. He had an illness called leukemia. It had something to do with his blood not being quite right. There was no cure for leukemia, and though Enoj never complained, the rest of the family worried about him. Anyway, as I've already mentioned, Haon was feeling blue. He was out on the family's bright red front lawn, staring through a telescope which was mounted on a tripod. He stared at the evening sky. He stared at Sunday moon. The bright yellow planet had 7 moons that encircled it. Each moon had been given a name for a day of the week. There was Monday moon, which only appeared on Monday, Tuesday moon, which only appeared on Tuesday, and I suppose you could guess the rest, so I won't take time to list them all. But needless to say, this made evenings very interesting and gave the night sky a different look every night. Haon turned the telescope in a different direction. He saw a faint object in the sky. While many people wouldn't have known what it was, Haon Illimath did. It was an asteroid. This should have made him happy, but instead it unnerved him. All he could think about was what it must be like up on that asteroid. Okay, I said up, and you realized, of course, that there's no up in outer space. You got me. Haon's mind positively tried to jump through that telescope, but there he was, stuck on the ground, feeling blue, out on his bright red front lawn on his bright yellow planet. He wanted desperately to visit the universe. He wanted to fly a rocket. But 8-year-old boys, even very smart ones like Haon, were not allowed to fly rocket ships. He'd need a grown-up to take him. But who?
Haon, Mommy wants you to come for dinner.
It was his 5-year-old sister, Elo. She always seemed to be calling him for dinner when he was trying to do important stuff. Leave me alone, Elo, I'm busy. He went right on viewing the sky, even though he knew he was going to have to stop in a minute.
Come on, Haon, Mommy says come in now.
Elo had a very sweet little voice, but to Haon, it sounded now like a dentist drilling. He didn't even answer. He heard her run back inside and slam the screen door. He had lost the asteroid in the telescope and was getting frustrated trying to find it again under all this pressure.
Now, Haon, or no dessert.
Drat, he'd better give it up. Okay. Here's Haon out in the yard, singing about the universe that he sees through his telescope.
I always wonder, I'm not so certain. What am I seeing? Is it a curtain of stars going on forever and evermore?
Hey, Aunt! Mommy wants you to come for dinner!
I'd like to go there. When will it happen? Who'll take me up there? I need a map I can bring, so that I will always know quite where I am.
Come for dinner!
In a minute, nobody thinks a small boy would know how to fly a great rocket ship. That's true. But if I had someone who would teach me, I'm sure that I'd be a real good pilot.
Now, hey, Aunt, or
stars I might see. What a lovely universe waiting for me.
He ran into the house. His family was already sitting at the dinner table. "Haon," said Enoch, "don't make your family have to wait for you every time we eat a meal. It's very inconsiderate." "I don't, Dad. I don't make you wait." Enoch picked up a piece of bread and spread some striped butter on it. "Son, if my memory serves me correctly, which it occasionally does, yesterday, which was Saturday, you were late to eat all 4 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and schlumpf. Am I wrong? You tell me." "Well, Dad, technically you are right. I was late, but I didn't make anybody wait for me. You could have started without me. Anyway, on the weekends, I usually don't feel hungry by schlumpf time." Haon used his knife and fork to cut up his delicious roast farfschmif. It did look good, and he decided to start by eating its eyes. His parents looked at each other knowingly. They knew that Haon wasn't trying to be rude talking to his father this way. Haon just seemed to analyze how things worked, and so he didn't really feel that he had made anyone wait for their meal by being outside with a telescope. "Sweetie," said Lorak, as she swallowed a bite of farfschmif paw, "in this family we eat together, not in shifts. And if you ask any reputable doctor, they'll tell you that schlumpf is the most important meal of the day. While you sleep, your cells are revitalized for maximum growth by the food you eat. It's crucial that a growing boy like you sleep on a full stomach. Otherwise, you'll have hair growing on your face when you grow up. That's what happens to people who skip late-night meals. You know what they say?" And his parents looked right at him and both said, "Eat breakfast like a warrior, lunch like a king, dinner like a Blardigian, and destroy, destroy, destroy your schlumpf." "In school we say that," said Elo, picking some farfschmif fur out of her teeth. "Dad," said Haon, looking at his father, who was not as blue as he should be, "you need to eat more schlumpf." Enoch's face became a bit serious. "Don't worry about me, son." Enoch put down his fork. "What were you doing out there that was so important anyhow?" said Enoch. "I was looking through the telescope." Well, I think that Enoch really knew that answer. He and Lorak had heard it before. Haon had spent lots of time out on the lawn with a telescope. While other kids watched videos or played with computers or shot baskets through their octagonal hoops, Haon definitely did tend to gravitate towards the telescope. I mean, he was a normal boy who had lots of friends. He wasn't a loner. He was well-liked and everything, but he seemed to get lost in that telescope. That was his specialty. "What did you see tonight?" asked his mom. "Well, I was concentrating on an interstellar asteroid, but I kind of got overwhelmed by the whole galaxy." "There's lots of galaxies," offered Elo. "I know that's stupid." Haon, who generally speaking was a nice kid, could be really horrible to his sister. She was a real sweetie and a little scared to offer her knowledge to the conversation sometimes because, well, look how Haon responded. He put her down a lot, and this was certainly not a good thing for a 5-year-old girl who was trying to develop good feelings about herself. "Mommy!" cried Elo. "You wouldn't know a quark from a micronucleus," yelled Haon. "He called me stupid." "Haon," said his mom, "we don't need to call each other names. Stupid means that somebody is incapable of learning. That is certainly not the case with your sister." "I know there's lots of galaxies," he positively snarled at Elo. "How many?" she baited him. Haon looked at her and squinted as he thought quickly. "An indefinite number which changes every day as galaxies are discovered, created, or destroyed, but the latest texts give an approximation of 11 to the 23rd power galaxies in the known universe." Elo was not at all happy that her brother knew so much about just about everything. Feeling that she could not immediately come up with a clever remark, she simply stuck out her tongue at him and gave what you earthlings call the raspberries. I'm assuming, dear reader, that you are an earthling.
Mom!
Whined Haon. Elo, cut it out, said her mother. He started. While Lorak looked at Elo, Haon stuck out his tongue at his sister. Angrily, Enoch said, Okay, both of you, that's enough. The kids were sullen now. Taking a deep breath and letting it out again, Enoch said, You really are fascinated by the universe around us, aren't you, Haon? Well, yeah, I want to see it all. It's all he talks about day and night, said Lorak, smiling. Putting a forkful of Farfschmiff in his mouth, Enoch casually said, School finishes for the summer in a few days, doesn't it? Yeah. And last summer, we spent a month at Aunt Blinny's country house. Did you enjoy that? It was okay. I don't want to go back to Aunt Blinny's again. It's boring, said Elo in her highest voice. Your Aunt Blinny is a wonderful auntie. She loves you kids, Lorak reminded them. But, Mom, complained Haon, I got sick of milking the chicken every morning. And I got those awful bug bites and I was dead for 3 days, Elo shuddered. Don't exaggerate, said Haon. It was 2 days. Well, either way, said their dad, how'd you both like to do something a bit different this summer? Yay! Screamed Elo. What is it? Asked Haon. How would you like it if we spent the summer rocketing around the entire universe? Wow, said Haon. Double yay, said Elo. Well, of course I would like that, but you're just fooling with me, right? We're not fooling, kids. Your daddy saw the doctor yesterday, and she thought that a family vacation might be just what the doctor ordered. Good one, honey, laughed Enoch. Lorak grinned. Would that make Daddy bluer again? Asked Elo. Enoch and Lorak looked at each other without speaking. We don't know, Elo. Nobody knows, but it couldn't hurt, and we've always wanted to take you two on a trip like that. But is it summer all over the universe? Asked Haon. Their mother answered, Well, no, it isn't, but we'll pack for different kinds of weather. The kids were really excited now, especially Haon. He had always dreamed of a trip like this and was quite amazed that it might finally come to take place. Are we going to go on a rocket? Elo asked. Enoch laughed. Is there another way? But we don't have a rocket. We're going to rent one. Wow, a Gargoyle 4? Oh, God, no, said his mom. It'll be a van, said Dad. That way we'll have lots of room and it still gets decent light years. I'm sure that we'll have lots of stuff to pack when we go, and we'll certainly need the space in space. I can't believe I'm finally going to go see what's out there. This is great, guys, said Haon. Lorak smiled. I think that this will be a real growth experience for you, sweetie. Haon was not too interested in whether or not it would be a growth experience. He just wanted to go. Yes, said Enoch. You'll never be the same once you've seen the universe. Remember Arcturus, honey? Said Lorak to Enoch with a smile. Enoch put his arm around her and gave her a loving look. How could I ever forget it, darling? Is the universe like Aunt Blinny's, Daddy? Asked Elo. Well, there are places something like Aunt Blinny's in the universe, but that's only a tiny bit of what goes on there. It's more of an endless void strategically strewn with celestial bodies, right, Dad? Said Haon. That's an interesting aspect, Haon, and a valid one at that, but the universe is much more than that. Is it like a big night sky? Elo said. Isn't it like a giant brain or something? Said Haon. Or a dream? Said Elo. Enoch smiled and said, It's all those things and more, but I like to think of it more like a song. A song? Said the kids. Think of the word universe, said Lorak. Uni means one, verse means song. Universe, one song. Wow, said Haon. The universe is like a song. Cool.
Is the universe like Aunt Blinny's, Daddy?
Well, there are places something like Aunt Blinny's in the universe, but that's only a tiny bit of what goes on there.
It's more like an endless void strategically strewn with celestial bodies. Right, Dad?
That's an interesting aspect, Haon, and a valid one at that, but the universe is so much more than that.
Is it like a big night sky?
Isn't it like a giant brain or something?
Or a dream?
It's all of those things and more, but I like to think of it more like a song.
A song?
Think of the word universe. Uni means one, verse means song. Universe, one song.
Wow, the universe is like a song. Cool.
A song. The universe is like a song where not a single note is wrong and everybody sings along.
In perfect harmony,
A tune. The universe is like a tune. The planets and the stars and moons, like trumpets, cellos, and bassoons, playing a melody that you can hear. Here is a perfect symphony. Every little phrase sounds right. Sliding trombones and timpani, comets and meteors whizzing in sight. A song. The universe is like a song. So sing it out and sing it strong. You'll know the words before too long. The universe is like a song. You see what I mean, kids? You understand the universe a bit better now?
Sure, I think so. A cat. The universe is like a cat, expanding like a cat gets fat. It's a very feline habitat.
Haon, that's not exactly what I had in mind.
A brick.
You too?
The universe is like a brick, with molecules that make it tick. It's heavy and it's rather thick.
What an original sounding idea!
And when we go exploring, we're searching for that long lost chord. You'll never find it boring, so warm up your voices and then get on board. A song. The universe is like a song. So sing it out and sing it strong. You'll know the words before too long. The universe is like a song. Song, 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 song. Song, 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 song. Song, 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 song. Song, 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 song. The universe is like a song.
His parents nodded in agreement. It was very cool. Haon thought for a moment and he said, "So we could sing our vacation." His dad laughed and said, "In a way, you're right. We better start packing then," Haon said. Enod said, "You've got a few days before we go anywhere." "And you have school tomorrow, Haon," said Lorak. "I can't wait to tell my friends." "Well, don't stay on the phone all night," said Lorak, "and don't make me call you 5 times later when it's schlumpf time. Otherwise, you'll spend the whole summer at Blinny's while we see the universe." "Mom, you don't mean that, do you?" "Don't test me if you don't want to find out, young man." Haon was impressed by his mom's tone of voice. "Okay, Mom," he answered, and he then proceeded to finish his farfschmiff politely and to enjoy his gualapala pudding for dessert. So ends podcast episode 1 of Space Vacation, the sci-fi musical comedy for the whole family. Book lyrics and music by Jonathan L. Segal. All instruments played digitally by Jonathan and recorded on Logic Pro in my little backroom studio. The singers were recorded by Chip Fabrizi at PPI Studios in New York. I used 4 wonderful singer-actors. Keegan Gullidge played Haon, Lucia Long played Elo, Nick Gasworth played Enod, and Lauren Reese played Lorak. All 4 of them also played all the other character voices on the album. And don't forget, you can hear all the songs on the album anytime you like at spacevacationthemusical.com. Space Vacation is a family show. Grandparents can play it for grandkids, and grandkids can play it for their friends. Please share it with all generations. Space Vacation is looking for a smart producer to stage it or film it. Please let us know if you know that person. Please subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening, and I will get to work on episode 2. And remember, the universe is like a song.